Welcome once again to Bamba TV. We are yet here with Owenguko Reverend Kamuhanda Tomasi. He's the former First Deputy Prime Minister Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba, and currently he's a senior advisor to the King. He's also a retired health worker and also a retired radio presenter. We are happy to have you, Owenguko Kamuhanda Tomasi.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you are a very big source of knowledge, and it's not surprising that we always come to you to seek knowledge. So you can say hi to our viewers.
Our viewers, good afternoon. Right Honorable Reverend Kamuhanda Tomasi, founder member of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba, former Deputy Prime Minister, retired health worker, retired radio presenter, UBC, lugha ya Kiswahili.
Thank you so much. Today we want to discuss the Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba Cultural Institution and how we have reached here. It's been a long 11 years now. It's a journey worth celebrating and also an opportunity for us to reflect where we have come from. So, at the very beginning, at first the Bamba, Babwisi and Vanoma, I thought that they had accepted to be part of the Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu in the beginning. What happened there so that Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba can be created?
Okay, thank you very much. Our viewers, let me give you a historical background in brief. Number one, Bwamba was a county of Toro district, at the same time Toro Kingdom. Bwamba, being part of Toro, it was carved off from Toro on 11th of April 1974 by Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada. After a longer struggle through the Rwenzururu political movement struggle. So we acquired a district status alongside with Kasese. It was called Semuliki district, and the boundaries were the northwest Toro constituency by then. From the same post of Nyakasura from Mpanga up to Randa, that is the northwest Toro constituency. That was Semuliki district. And from Rwimi up to Mpondwe, that is the southwest Toro constituency, which was the Rwenzururu district. So later on is when it was decided by the Parliament of Uganda the name of the district should be the capital or the headquarters of that district. That's why it became Bonibujo district, and the Kasese became the Kasese district, and the other districts in the country. Now, the issue of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba and Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu, the truth of the matter is we had never had kings. Because had we had the kings before, the father of Obusinga and the father of Obudingiya could not have been the councillors in the then Toro Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because if they were kings or princes, they could not be councillors in another kingdom. Under another kingdom. So our struggle was to acquire a district status from the then Toro because of the marginalization, subjugation, and the discrimination of the then Toro Kingdom administration. In 1967, Obote abolished the kingdoms. Because in 1966, when Obote came here, we presented an issue of having Bamba Bakonzo to have a separate district from Toro. The way the letter was reading, which the leaders of Rwenzururu wrote to Queen Elizabeth in 1962. They wrote to Queen Elizabeth, and it was a struggle where they were agitating to have a separate district from the Toro. So when Obote came in 1966, he said, that problem of marginalization, subjugation, discrimination is countrywide. I'm going to handle. So when he went back on 8th of September 1967, he abolished the kingdoms. And Uganda became a republic. Nobody could hold a title, whatever, no. So Uganda became a republic, not having any other king. That's why the Kabaka of Uganda also fled to exile, where he died from. When Amini came in, to him, to please the Baganda, he brought the Kabaka's dead body for burial, for decent burial in Uganda. But he did not restore the kingdoms. Not until on 8th of October 1995, when His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promulgated our current constitution of 1995, whereby Article 246 reads that cultural kingdoms have to be restored, and others who so wish can also have theirs. Is where the Wakonzo based from to continue with the Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu. So they wanted to take us unaware in that kingdom. So on 26th of December 2002, the late chairperson, may his soul rest in peace, Jackson Ramalira, called for a meeting of all stakeholders before Antoroko was carved off from this district. He came to the community hall here in a very special meeting. It is when we saw our brother with the Wakonzo bringing the constitution, bringing everything. It was a very big book. So they started reading it to us, that we have to join them in the struggle to have that Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu in place to be recognized by government. It is when we asked, according to Article 246 of the National Constitution of Uganda 1995 as amended, these are cultural institutions, and our culture is not the same as that one of Wakonzo.
Yeah.
So we raised the upper hand before the chairman. By then, we said, no, we are not ready to join this institution. And we walked out, and we went there outside to form an association called BEF, Bamba Babwisi Elders Forum.
So at the beginning, even the Batuku were part of that?
Yes, because it was in Toroko district.
Yeah, but Toroko was still under the district by then, yeah.
So, we chose Mzee Fulgencio Matirenie, now titled Obudingiya, to be the chairperson of that organization. And Mzee Asa Wamala, by then the chairperson of LC3, Revisengu, became the vice chairperson. And I was chosen to be the general secretary, deputized by Owenko Colonel Wakechwa, and the publicity secretary being the late Owenko Reverend Susan Akileo, may his soul rest in peace, and the treasurer was the late Reverend Amoni Sengoyo, may his soul rest in peace. And the other members who were there, we continued with the struggle. Because the objectives of Rwenzururu was not to have kingdoms, was to have separate districts. So we went ahead with the struggle. In 2003, in the month of August, we held a meeting. We discovered in the constitution that these are cultural institutions. Moreover, we are opposing the Batuku culture the Bamba, Babwisi and Vanoma culture is not the same also. Likewise, the Bakonzo is not the same as ours. So we went to Rwenzururu to inform the Batuku that please, we want to change the name of this organization to become a better Bamba Babwisi Elders Development Association.
And remove the Batuku.
The Batuku. The Batuku accepted, they were happy, and they remained as our allies.
Yeah.
That's why they joined us in the response to the Kajura Commission, which the president instituted to come and inquire how he can work, or how he can work on the issue of Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu in the region. So in the Kajura report, the resolution were Bakonzo unanimously accepted to have the cultural institution known as Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu. So for us, we remain without being under any cultural institution. So this is when we decided to go and meet the president on the 14th of October 2009, when they were preparing the first coronation of Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu on 19th of October 2009. So on the 14th, we sat with the president at the State House. We agreed on terms. One, we agreed that Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu center of gravity is Kasese. If the Bamba, Babwisi and Vanoma have their cultural institution, the center of gravity shall be Bundibuji. Now, then we agreed that we are going to begin the struggle. From that day, we dropped the idea of not having a kingdom or a cultural institution since we started the struggle of having a cultural institution.
As Bamba, Babwisi
and Vanoma. Because we have the same culture, same norms, and the same tradition. Even the constitution is really that. Those people having the same tradition, the same customs, can form their own cultural institution. Then, the following year, we went to, that was 2012. In August 10th, 9th to 10th, we held a conference which was attended by 980 people from all the three ethnic communities at the Obudingiya Church College. We agreed to have a king, and we appointed him, we selected him, Major Martin Ayongikame by them, to be the leader of our kingdom. We selected the name of the kingdom called Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba. And that day we selected someone to take charge of that institution. Mzee Fulgencio Maitirebe to take the lead, and he was named Simudi. It was on 10th of August 2012. Okay?
Yeah.
Then we started the struggle to prepare the coronation of our king. We went ahead with the programs, and to cut you short, we struggled the institution to be gazetted. It was gazetted and recognized by government. And we struggled to have all the regalias in place. The anthem, the seal, the flag, the constitution. And it is me who drafted that first constitution, which was created by our Attorney General, David Irenge, and the team. But I'm the first man to draft the constitution of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba. So we took them to the Ministry of Gender, and everything was okay. So we were gazetted. After being gazetted is when they chose a day to come and coronate our king. So the president himself accepted to come and bless the occasion on the 30th of May 2014. So that is the success. In fact, we went through so many hurdles, so many challenges, so difficulties. Really, it was a long struggle, where other people wanted to kill us. But by God's grace, we are still living.
So, Reverend, since the creation of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba, actually, those first years, there were tensions within this region. Obusinga wanting to come to individual, and there was so much tension within that time. What would have been the cause? Because as an elder,
the government stopped him from coming because we were holding meetings in the president's office. We could begin a meeting at midday. We finished the meeting at 3 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Disagreeing on that issue. So at the end of the day, the government took a decision, stopped him. Reason is why. This is Bwamba, and in the whole world, by the way, remember the viewers you are seeing. In the whole world, we have only one Bwamba. And there is no that chance of relinquishing Bwamba to other people.
Yeah.
Or accepting it to be swallowed by any other ethnic community. No, that one is impossible. We shall struggle to the last man. And the Bwamba must exist until Jesus comes.
But the subjects of the Obusinga, their argument was, since they are here, they also have a right of having their king visit them.
But the president and Dr. Kiyonga initiated a tete-a-tete discussion between Obudingiya and Obusinga in Mubende. From there, another tete-a-tete discussion at the Mountains of the Moon, President's Lodge. Then another one, we held a joint community meeting here in Obudingiya at the Bumatek Lodge. So we agreed on the following. One, Obusinga will be informing Obudingiya to come and visit his subjects. Number two, the Bakonzo living in Obudingiya are subjects of Obusinga. They cherish, those one who cherish Obusinga are free to go and pay allegiance to the center of gravity
In Kasese.
And the Bamba, maybe Batoro and others who cherish to Toro Kingdom and others cherish to Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba in Kasese are free to come to Obudingiya, others to go in the Toro to pay allegiance to their kingdom. But they have to live in Obudingiya as Ugandans because we live in coexistence and diversity. So nobody can be prevented to live anywhere, no. But cultural aspirations are different. And we can celebrate at any place, like, I'm forgetting the year, Obudingiya invited the Obusinga to come. He came. Even he opened our conference at the college. He was here. The way we agreed even in the president's office. So, Obudingiya district is the area of jurisdiction, the center of gravity of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba. Kasese district is the center of gravity for Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu. Despite subjects being rampant or elsewhere, living anywhere in Uganda, the Bamba in Kampala or in Bunyoro or elsewhere, but the center of gravity of the cultural institution is here. And there were Konzo living in Obudingiya elsewhere, Congo elsewhere, and the center of gravity of Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu is in Kasese.
So,
And the center of gravity for Toro Kingdom is in Kamuhanda.
so what is the relationship between Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba and Obusinga Bwa Rwenzururu as we talk now?
Number one, that relationship, people who had never had kings, we have kings now. Because we are the power.
Yeah.
That is a relationship. Number two, we have lived for time immemorial. Lived together.
Yeah.
Time immemorial. Our forefathers lived together.
Yeah.
Number three, our fathers struggled in the Rwenzururu movement together to attain the district status of Kasese and Bondebujo. Then another one, we are diffused because we have intermarriages.
Yeah.
So that is the relationship we have.
So as kings, I'm sorry to ask this, as Obudingiya and the Obusinga, do they have meetings or maybe talk on phone? Do they communicate?
They do, because 2014, Obudingiya himself went to the coronation anniversary in Kasese on 19th of October, after his coronation in May.
Yeah.
We went there. Then the following year, it is me who went there, who led the delegation to that coronation anniversary of 2015. It is me who led the team to go to grace that occasion, to join our brothers and sisters to celebrate together on that coronation anniversary.
So, Reverend, what kind of advice would you give to people? Because we are in the communities there, and you see people, there is a way they want to create a very big gap between the Bakonzo and the Bamba, dividing them in lines of cultural institutions.
No.
Which kind of advice would you give to such people? Because by the look of things, according to what you've told us, it seems there is nothing bad going on between the institutions.
The issue is ignorance.
Yeah.
The issue is what?
Ignorance.
Number one, you must know that this is a Bwamba.
Yeah.
Even if I go to Uganda, I will never change Uganda to be Bwamba.
Okay.
Even if I have houses, I have land and whatever, someone living in other area of jurisdiction of a certain cultural leader and that geocultural space. So that ignorance by politicians want to change things which are impossible to be changed.
Yeah.
Because with God's plan, you cannot stop it. He made us, we didn't apply to be Bamba. Babwisi and Vanoma. They didn't apply to be Bakonzo.
And also the Bakonzo who are in Obudingiya, they didn't apply to be born and raised in Obudingiya.
No, they came as because those hills belong to us. This is where our sacred cultural sites are, which our forefathers were living, because there is no clan of Bakonzo which doesn't have a blood relationship with the Bamba.
Yeah.
Mukago,
Yeah.
Kunwani.
So in other words, there is
the
no
time
way
they came, we could leave them. You keep our things here. We are going to hunt and cultivate. They could come to hunt and fish in the River Semuliki. They go back with meat and a fish to their area. Then at the end of the day, they decided to come down. Others to keep those areas. That's why when time could come, when I was still young, those our brothers could come and tell us, now that your things are now crying at night and whatever, can you come and do the rituals so that they can keep quiet and we live in peace and harmony. So those people, for God.
In other words, there is no way you can separate a Mkonzo from a Mwamba in any way.
You cannot. They are Ugandans, they are Africans, We are Ugandans, we are Africans, we have to live by diversity and to live in coexistence. Okay?
Yeah.
And that is a must, and it is mandatory, and it is constitutional. There is no way you can say you are Mukonzo leave this place. No, you cannot. There can no way someone can say you are Mamba leave this place. No. No. We are brothers, sisters, and whatever. But the politicians come to ignite the fire, so that they identify the weakest point. It is what they use to gain their popularity in the community. Okay. But that one this year, we don't want any violence and whatever. Whoever is contesting, whoever is doing what, do it as a Ugandan, do it as a person from Bundibujo. Whoever is supporting his candidate is free. It is only the best that we choose who has gone through. So now I'm warning them, nobody should use any flag of a cultural institution or aid of Obusinga or Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba. That's one. Nobody must abuse either Obusinga or Obudingiya, or to abuse Obusinga or Obudingiya.
In the name of politics.
In the name of politics. We don't have a selected candidate we have chosen to stand on our behalf to contest. But if you begin abusing, if you begin false allegations against the institutions, we are going to come out and fight you out. Yeah. That one we cannot go and ask prophets, should we go out? Should we fight this person? No, it is you who shall have provoked us. But we don't want. You are all our sons and daughters. Please come, contest, do whatever you can. But control your utterances.
It's been 11 years now. It has been a long journey for worth celebrating. What has the institution of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba achieved?
The truth of the matter, these cultural institutions are not traditional. Like those ones, Buganda, Toro, Busoga, Bunyoro, and Kole. Because those ones acquired pieces of land, chunks of land, they have assets and whatever, because they were being supported by colonialists.
Yeah.
So these are third world kingdoms we are having. But briefly, Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba struggled to bring sickle cell machine. It is at the hospital to test for sickle cell, because in the whole of Uganda, sickle cell individual ranks first in sickle cell disease. Okay? That is our achievement. Number two, we have already started constructing our headquarters. Yeah. We are soon coming out of the foundation. So we need the government to come, well-wishers to come in to help us. Then another achievement, we get some slots in the army recruitment, police, prisons, and whatever. So our sons and daughters go there. Another achievement, we have scholarships. If we want, the Minister of Education can give the details about scholarships and the bursaries at the institutions of learning. Yeah. So that is also an achievement.
And also bring together the Bamba,
yes. And you know, on the issues of scholarships, that one is non-segregated. Even if you go there now, we have so many Bakonzo who have started using our bursaries.
Yeah, I also know very many friends of mine who studied under the Obusinga scholarship, and they are not Bakonzo, yes. They are from here.
Yes. So that is what we are doing. That is what we want cultural institutions to interrelate, to work together. But these politicians try to bring in their own agenda so that we can separate, just to disagree and do what. No, that's what we don't want as of now.
So as we celebrate 11 years of Obudingiya's coronation and the inauguration of the institution, What are your last words to the Obudingiya and the whole country?
Before I mention that, we still have a challenge with the government. From 2014 to date, our king's entitlements have never been given to him by the government, apart from memorandums.
I thought the government gave him a car.
No, that was an offer from the president, not those ones entitled from the Traditional and Cultural Leaders Act of 2011. So we have never received anything. For 11 years now on the road.
Are you following up?
Yes, yes. Then number two, we need support from government to assist us to have some ventures, economic ventures. For example, just yesterday of recent, the king has launched a tree planting project in the kingdom. Like those things. Because one time I went to the office of the National Forest Authority, the executive director, to beg for seedlings. I think they are going to add more. Yes, they are going to add more, and we are ready to do things, but we are incapacitated. We don't have the money.
Yeah.
We are incapacitated financially. Yeah.
So everything that's happening within the kingdom is just a support of the subject.
Yes. Yes, in the support of the subject. And finally, the word you want me to talk, as the last word, I'm appealing to all Obudingiya, all Ugandans, people from Bundi region, all corners, all ethnic communities, and the country at large. I'm inviting you to come and join us to celebrate the 11th anniversary of Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba. And we pray that let's celebrate it peacefully. Let us live peacefully through coexistence, through diversity. Let us strengthen the institution, strengthen our homes, strengthen our economic status, so that prosperity can be on each and every one. And we thank the President for the last visit. He has been here when he was talking about prosperity for all, especially wealth creation. But we need more, because money has never been enough. If it becomes enough, it ceases to be money. It ceases to be money.
Yeah.
Now, I'm appealing to politicians, do not ignite any confusion in the society. Let us go through the elections peacefully for the good of our nation and Obudingiya Bwa Bwamba.